Welcome back. I'm Dan Salem. We have Phil and Albert's iPhone. Al's here too on the voice from the car.
Going on?
Our three-man booth. You from Section 323 and BuzzChomp. Oh, our team sucked this year. What's up, guys? How's it going?
It's been, hey, at least my team didn't lose this weekend.
Yeah,
It's true. The bye is the best week of the year. We still, as Jet fans, we still have to wait another 2 weeks for that.
I'm hoping that this Buffalo game will be the best week of the year, but we'll see.
Not a chance.
Bud is convinced they're going to lose to Buffalo. I don't buy it.
I read today that there's a possibility that Jake Allen comes back, and if Jake Allen comes back, the Jets are doomed. It's done.
So Buffalo did beat Minnesota and one other team, so they're not terrible. My brother pointed out that they're the second best defense in the league by DVOA statistics. Not that has done them any good. So
Yeah, they don't get blown out of games. They're in a lot of these games. I mean, look at last week. They were let me back up. Don't look at last week because they put the Bears and they got ran out of the building. But every other game up until then, they've been competitive in every single one.
Yeah, but the Bears defense had what, 2 or 3 defensive touchdowns, right?
don't worry, I'll add them in like that too.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that was the difference in the Jets game. The defense, I like to start with bright spots. The defense looked good, getting turnovers, and Elijah McGuire looked good. I was happy he was back, but the Jets gave away points on defense too, and that to the defense, and that cost them. But
I mean, there's so many problems and ineptitudes with this team. It's ridiculous. I mean, how much more can we defend this coaching staff?
well,
I'm sorry. It's
no.
they look completely unprepared for this, Dan.
I completely agree with you, and that's why the image for this week is hot seat for Todd Bowles, because if they lose to Buffalo, I'm not sure he survives the season. Like, I'm not I expected the roller coaster with Darnold, but the offense and the game plan on offense is atrocious. That's why I said McGuire was a bright spot because I really like him, but they can't move the football. Like,
What happened?
This was against a defense in Miami that was hemorrhaging points and hemorrhaging yards. You mean to tell me that you can't throw the football more than 8 yards? 3 times he tried to stretch the field. 2 times was basically garbage time. I need to hurry up, and he threw 2 interceptions.
yeah.
And the other time, Robbie Anderson just kind of quits and stops running for the football. I mean, the receivers they look completely like they don't want to do anything. They have no running game. This team misses Bilal Powell like you can't even imagine.
That's why I'm excited for McGuire to be back, because he's a real good player. I mean, he's young, he's inexperienced, but they were allowing Darnold to stretch the field early in the season, and he was finding success. They have totally and completely sheltered him over the last 3 weeks, and they haven't been able to move the football one bit because of it. Now, my main issue though is that they stayed in shotgun almost the entire game, and they played a center with a broken finger who could not play. Couldn't. So I don't even know what's up there. I don't know, Phil, if you watched the game, but
Dan, you don't get SNY out there, obviously, right?
No.
All right, so like a glutton, my whole family, we have to, as soon as the game's over, we have to go to SNY to listen to this knucklehead talk. And so I was in the car driving to Connecticut, and I was listening to it. I say it every single week. I'm so tired of hearing the same stuff. The center couldn't snap the ball, and the coach said, well, I don't think that was the problem. Really?
Yeah, no, he should have been benched 3 weeks ago. If he has a broken finger, let him I mean, they keep doing shotgun. It's terrible. Oh.
I mean, he can't get lined up under center because it hurts his hands when he snaps the ball, and he can't line up in shotgun because none of his snaps are consistent to where he has to go. The one interception that he threw, the pick 6, that ball was 2 feet above his head. He had to jump to get it, and then he had to hurry up and rush, and then he made a poor decision, and that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, Darnold is kind of the good defenders are just watching his eyes because he's kind of telegraphing where he's going to go with it. But if he can't get a snap, I mean, he's playing like Eli. Now I gotta transition over to Eli because apparently Eli's starting again, and we can go on and on about how the Jets suck.
There's no surprise on that. But so before we move on to that, I want to. So Dan, I know you watched you watched it on replay, not on replay. You watched it on DVR, and you fast forward through a lot of stuff. How much fast forwarding did you do to do this game?
No, I actually watched this game because it went really quickly because it was a defensive game. So like these games move pretty quick.
Well, it went pretty quick because there was no scoring, so the clock kept moving.
Right.
So you suffered like everybody else did this week in essentially real time.
I did. I was holding out hope that they would get one good drive at the end of the game and not give up a good drive. They didn't give up they only gave up one drive to Miami the entire game, and it was a field goal. But the offense looked nothing like when it was productive early in the season, and I just hate the play calling. I've hated the play calling the last couple of weeks. I don't know. They may have to Bulls may have to fire the offense coordinator, Jeremy Bates, or at the bye week, or he's going to lose his job. Like that could be like, you know how they do that? They get rid of the coordinator to try to turn the corner before they lose their own job.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what the Cowboys did. They fired their O-line coach. They promptly lost again. So,
if they lose on Sunday, does Todd Bowles make it out of the bye?
Well, Dan said no. He's convinced that might not happen.
I don't think so because, I mean, I don't like midseason firings period, but
it took Hugh Jackson 2.5 years and 2 wins and whatever it was, 37 losses to get fired. I mean, you're right. They don't fire a lot of coaches midseason, but it has to be for good reason. I still think he gets a pass here. I really do.
I mean, the whole point of it was for him to get the whole year right and to see how Darnold grows and progresses. So this is his biggest.
Is he growing? Is he growing though?
Yeah, I mean he is because these are learning experience games for him. He's playing.
He's got 14 interceptions in an offense that can't even move the football.
Yeah, I mean, so setting that aside because whatever. the offense is not.
You want to file Bud up real quick? Bud, what was your positives from this game?
Okay.
Next question.
Okay. So, I'm looking at Darnold's body of work. I don't like that he has 14 interceptions on the year, but he's had multiple games without any. I mean, he the one at the end of the game last week, he was just trying to force it to get it. A couple bad snaps. I mean, he's not playing with the complete offense because of injury, because of lack of adding any receivers to the receiving core. Now, I don't think they should have done it mid-season, but they could have done it in August.
But how come the Jets aren't working out Des Bryant?
Don't even start with me on that. I texted both of you last night at 10 o'clock. I got no response, by the way.
I responded, but maybe this morning. No, I don't think they should go after anybody now. It's a waste of money. They'll get them in the offseason. But did you see how good Anunwa looked in like the 3 opportunities he got last week? I mean, he's not fully healthy yet. They have a couple really good players that are just still nursing injuries. I mean, Robbie Anderson's got to go. He's kind of a baby, but otherwise.
Not only is he a baby, he quits on most plays.
Yeah.
He's got more speed than most people on the field, and he just doesn't utilize his weapon. And it is so frustrating to watch this.
Yeah.
Being the way that it is, especially how the defense played relatively well. When you give up 6 points, which essentially that's what the defense did. They give up 6 points. You should win those football games, and you can't. Yeah. I mean, you can't even. Oh, all right, keep going.
Well, so that game sucked, right? Buffalo is a worse team. Now the Jets do have. I like their weapon. I like Anunwa. I really like Elijah McGuire. Especially, I mean, he doesn't compliment Crowell, but he's I really like him. And I really like the rookie tight end. I mean, they're a better team than Buffalo. They should win. If they lose, there's going to be major issues. Like there's going to
you like the tight end, but it took 3 quarters for him to utilize him.
Well, I don't like the play calling. I mean, I don't understand it. Outside of the Detroit game, and I think there was one other game, it's been bad. So
So while we're chatting, I'm trying to look up real quick what the spread is for this game. So I want you to. All right, Bud, guess the spread of the game on Sunday.
Boy, oh boy. Jets are favored by 2.
Dan?
I'm going to go Buffalo -1.
Jets -7.
Jets -7. Oh, my goodness.
Not a chance. Oh, my
I mean,
God.
that's like a minus – because you automatically get 3 points being the road team. That's a huge swing.
Bill, don't even touch that game. If you touch that game, I'm going to smack you.
No, I've learned. You've told me over the years many times, don't ever put your money on the Jets, and I've listened.
Was that the opening line? Because I thought it was Jets plus something.
No, it's Jets -7 right now.
Wow.
I don't know what it opened at. This is just what it is currently. So.
That's gonna change though if Allen if Allen's good to go, that's gonna change.
Yeah, but no, he's back out. Isn't I forget his name. Isn't he out?
Who, McCoy?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
That's not what I read today. I don't know.
It's irrelevant. It's as bad as the Giants 49ers game. So
that is going to be, unfortunately you can't flex out of the Monday night game. I don't think you can at least, but
no, you can.
That is going to be a rough watch. Listen, I don't know if this Mullins guy is any good. If he is, and I told Bud this last week, you let him have his 8 games, you let him get his experience, and then the Giants go after him in the offseason rather than, there's no, again, we've said this many weeks, there's no quarterbacks that you have to tank for. So I'd rather have a guy that has 8 games of experience under his belt rather than a guy from college who, obviously needs to learn, a whole new system, a whole new offense, all that fun stuff. Garoppolo played 4 games last year and he got a mega contract. So it's not unheard of.
No, I mean, Mullins could be good. Bethard is not terrible, and he's their backup. And then,
well, that's the point. They have C.J. Beathard as their backup. Jimmy G's their starter. So this other guy, if Mullins plays these 8 games and he's awesome, he's going to come out. He's going to catch on somewhere.
Yeah. Well, and Jameis.
Could you imagine if he goes in there and he rips the Giants apart?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen only because look who they were playing. And you said this, Bud. Oakland just gave up on those plays. They wanted no business being on that field.
They're tanking. They're completely tanking.
That's what I'm saying. So he might be good. He might not be good. You can't take it from that game because that's the worst sample size you can possibly have is playing against Oakland. So
Oakland completely quit. It's like they weren't even trying to tackle people.
Yeah. Right. So is he good? I don't know, but we'll see.
So Manning's starting because I don't know why. I mean, there's no
because there's no better option. That's why.
Why don't people let him a chance?
Well, first of all, he just got himself arrested the other week, which it came out today that the NFL is not going to suspend him. There may be some internal suspension or whatever it's going to be, but the NFL said they're not suspending him. But I don't know. 2 weeks ago, I thought it was going to happen in the bye. But there's no better. He hasn't been active 1 game this year. Now you're going to throw him in the starting lineup.
Well, why not Davis Webb? Like, is this
Davis Webb's gone?
Davis Webb's on the Jets.
Oh, he's on the Jets.
Gone? He's a Jet. Why? How do you doing? Why did we get him? Anyways, that was a waste of.
They had him in preseason. They released him after the 3rd week, and then the Jets picked him up. He's carrying a clipboard on the side.
Right.
Oh, all right. Oh, I missed that. So then this is Monday Night Football. Is this like Eli Manning's last game in prime time?
Yes.
If they lose, he's done. He's not going to play anymore.
Well, it's his last game in prime time in a Giants uniform. I think that's true. Yes. Regardless.
I think if they lose, I think you just got to close the book. And as crazy as it sounds, but this team needs something. And it may not necessarily be all Eli's fault, but you got to try to shake it up a little bit.
I agree.
I mean, the Niners are beat up too. It's like, again, they played Oakland. They looked they looked like a great team on Thursday. But again, look at the competition you played.
They're not.
They're in no hurry to start winning games either because at some point of the season, it doesn't benefit you to win games.
Well, no, I mean, they're all competing for that top 2-3 spots in the draft.
Right.
So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And the bad part is, New York is not it's not going to happen. So don't. This is not what I'm saying. They're still not mathematically eliminated from the division. And the Eagles keep losing, the Cowboys keep losing, the Redskins keep losing. Like it's like it was like 2 or 3 years ago when the Redskins won, and what was it? Dallas was they had 2 wins, and they still were mathematically still for the division in like week 14 and 15. It's like that all over again. I told you guys weeks ago Washington's not a good team, and they're not. They got exposed by the worst defense in the league. Washington's not a good team. Dallas is not a good team. We saw that last night. And the Eagles are ho hum. They're probably going to win the division by default, but the NFC East is not good. I'm not saying anything nobody doesn't know already.
No, that brings up something that Todd and I wrote about today. There's a couple of teams that like are actually knocking on the doors of divisions, but like, do we actually think they're any good? Like Cincinnati, Miami, the Chargers, and Carolina.
Yes. Chargers, absolutely. And Carolina has like the 3rd best record in the league or something like that. They're like top 5 in the league. They're very quiet. Top 5. Though.
I said this to you on Sunday night when you and Tommy and we went out, Phil. Carolina is a quiet 6-2.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about Carolina, and they're 6-2. The Chargers are 6-2. Nobody's talking about them because first off, they have no fans, and they're barely getting by, but they're winning football games. Yeah, I mean, out of all those teams, I think the most dangerous is probably Carolina because they're just. It seems kind of crazy, but they do have some good balance. The Chargers are probably going to have to go through Kansas City at some point.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's going to work. So, I wouldn't sleep on Cincinnati. I mean, Pittsburgh's starting to roll, and James Conner is certainly proving the point that they don't need Le'Veon Bell.
Except Le'Veon Bell's coming back in 2 weeks, so.
Yeah, but Le'Veon Bell did that he sent like text message or something like that, or a tweet about goodbye Miami. I don't even know how anybody can interpret that.
I saw something on ESPN today that they made a mistake. He doesn't have to play at all this season for his extra year of eligibility. He's already obtained it. So
is that true?
That ESPN had it in their article. They go, despite our reporting that it's not accurate. He doesn't actually have to play at all. So,
and he can still become an unrestricted free agent?
Yeah. So now I'm not sure what to believe.
Well, if that's true, then you're not going to see him at all.
Right. Then he's just going to sit out the whole year and keep working out, and then next year he's going to get a contract.
Wait, isn't that what Marshawn Lynch did a few years ago? Didn't he just sit out the year? Or is that different circumstance?
Well, Marshawn Lynch, he retired, and then he came out of retirement, so it was a little different.
Did he retire?
Yeah, because the Steelers can make Bell an offer. Or no, sorry. The Steelers can match an offer from any other team, and he has to sign it in the offseason as a restricted free agent. So
that's interesting. I didn't see that. I'll have to look for that. I didn't see that. I figured that'd be all over the place with dings and push notifications, and I didn't even. That's news to me. I didn't hear that today.
Yeah, they're like.
Was that an Ian Rappaport? Was that an Ian Rappaport one? Because we know how often he's not right.
Yeah, I don't. They didn't call anybody out. They just made it. They just were like, despite the reporting to the contrary.
which is funny because we've been hearing nothing but that for 10 weeks. They just figured this out 10 weeks ago, or after 10 weeks of football.
Maybe it's to trump it up so they give them a deadline that didn't exist.
Maybe. Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
How about my boy Patrick Mahomes throwing another 4 touchdowns this weekend? Wow.
Someone's gonna.
Yeah, I don't think that's not nice, though.
Ask Bud how his fantasy game went last week against me.
Oh, did it not go?
Well, no, it didn't go well at all for me. But I'll put it to you this way: my team put up enough points to beat every other team in our league except for Phil. Phil scored 190 points in a non-PPR league, and I scored 140. Phil.
The league is over. I'm moving over my my Giants helmet on the mantle to make room for my trophy. It's coming. It's coming home.
Every position player that Phil had scored 2 touchdowns, including his defense.
Yep.
Yeah, Chicago.
So I'm watching I did have Chicago, yeah. So I'm watching the 1:00 games. Mahomes throws the 50-yard pass to Kareem Hunt, and I looked at my buddy that was next to me. I said, "Match is over."
Yeah,
it's over.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in the playoffs, I guess.
I had a fun Sunday. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, well, I won too, but Not
But
quite.
it's incredible. I mean, you can't stop this team. It's unbelievable. He does it to good teams. He does it to bad teams.
Yeah.
You know, his bad game is going to be 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, that's going to be his bad game.
I'm just waiting for something, but we'll see if it comes. So that's the type of
the only game they lost was a game they should have won against New England.
Yeah. So that's the type of stuff that Aaron Rodgers used to do, and he's not doing it at all anymore after his surgery last season. Or the Packers, I think they're done.
I think it has more to do with the coaching and the personalities around him than him.
Ah, okay.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, they look like a shell of themselves, that team.
And they just get rid of their best defender in Clinton Dix, and I mean, they couldn't stop. They were in that Patriot game for a little while, but the Patriots, they weren't even worried about that game.
No,
they knew they were in that game.
They were a real popular pick preseason. The Packers. I'm trying to think. There's a couple other popular. I guess Jacksonville. I don't think they're coming back either this year, but
Jacksonville's done.
They look like they've looked the past. You know, we're back to the Jacksonville that we're used to, basically.
Yeah. So I don't really like the Texans or the Titans, but at least one of them is going to make the playoffs. Maybe both of them.
Yeah, but they'll both be one and done. So you're not gonna see them go far.
I mean, it's New England, Kansas City, and then maybe a couple of other teams worth mentioning. I don't even know if
I want to see. I think I said it last week or the week before. I want to see Rams, Kansas City. That's the matchup I want to see.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. The Rams played really. I mean, the Rams put up how many points against the Saints, and they lost. And the Rams have a really good defense.
Yeah. Well, this is Drew Brees' swan song. If he wins the Super Bowl, he'll probably retire. Like.
I would agree.
Yeah. So they're going all in.
He's having arguably his best year of his career, and he's going for 72,000 yards and 500 something touchdowns. I mean, he's without this year, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he's still just what does he have? Only one interception all year.
Yeah, I don't know. It's when you don't turn the ball over, you win a lot. That's why they're doing well.
Yeah, that obviously that was the game of the weekend. That was a fun watch. That was back and forth, and if it wasn't for that deep bomb to Michael Thomas, the Rams still had a chance to win that game. But once that happened, it's 10-point lead. You weren't coming back. I mean, that's the kind of games we want to see. That's your NFC Championship game right there. Is what I think.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a take two on that in a few months.
Now, I wouldn't count out Minnesota, only because I just feel like they're kind of like waiting. Now they're not as good on either side of the ball, either of those teams, but I wouldn't count them out come postseason. I don't know, something about the Vikings.
I will say something about the Vikings though. Adam Thielen was a shell of himself without Stephon Diggs on the field.
That's true.
So, I mean, I have Diggs and Thielen in my fantasy, and they have both been putting up 15, 20 points a game for me, and Diggs didn't go this week, and then you just double-team Thielen, and, Kirk Cousins can't get him the ball.
Yeah. Well, he should be back after their bye week, so right. Who else?
Well, now Bud's got to worry about Dalvin Cook coming back, too. Lucky him.
Oh.
Yeah, don't even get me started on that.
Well,
Latavius Murray's been putting up crazy numbers. This guy comes back, and Latavius Murray no longer exists.
Well, that's the worst part. Like, there's only half the teams that actually have a running back you can count on. So, I don't even know. Like, I've been having a struggle to fill in for bye weeks and running backs in our league. I don't even know who to turn to.
Yeah, our league is the same thing, and there's one guy in our league that has all the running backs, and he wants to trade me, and all he wants is Thielen, and I'm not giving him up. So,
well, I had to go real high on trying to grab Duke Johnson, the second running back for the Browns for this coming week, just to have somebody. That's my best option.
That's a stretch.
It's actually not because I think they're playing Atlanta too, right?
Yeah, and he had 2 scores last week, so he's coming off.
And the way you beat Atlanta is by pass catching running backs. They hemorrhage points to pass catching running backs, and that's exactly what Duke Johnson is. So that's not a bad play this week.
No, I'm hoping I can grab him because I got a hole there, Phil. It's been.
I got to see. You know what? We were talking before, and I forgot to look at the number for the Giants game. All right.
Oh,
actually, it's not too surprising. It's San Francisco -3, which is, as we said, your standard home field advantage. So.
Yeah, because Todd already sent me his picks, and he picked the Giants +3, which
I kind of have a feeling they're going to win this game only because they should. I mean, yeah. I keep picking them every week, and I keep getting burned. So what the hell? I might as well do it again.
I mean, I really think this is the week that the Giants and Jets both win. It's the best chance all year we're going to have. Like,
if one of them loses, if one of them's to lose and one of them's to win, but which team's the one that's going to lose?
Oh, the Jets.
So the Jets are home though. That's got to count for something. Todd Bowles' teams are awful on the road. They're pretty good at home.
Another reason why we need a new coach.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm slowly falling off his bandwagon as I see the game plans refuse to change week to week. So this is kind of like, I mean, is this the last week before the bye, or did they get the Patriots before their bye?
No, they have a bye. So this is it, and then they have a bye, and then they get the Patriots, who are clicking on all cylinders again. So I wouldn't expect a big day out of that.
No. But this game is must win. This is like the Jets Super Bowl right now, because if they can they need to win to prove that they're not who everyone thinks they are, and like that old stigma. So like this is it for them, and I think it's it for Eli Manning too. I mean, I'll make my picks right now. I actually think the Giants and Jets both win this week because their opponents are just worse, and home field advantage is always a benefit. But
you're right. This might be the first week we actually get 2 victories. So next week we might all both be tooting our horns at the same time, which hasn't happened yet all season, and feels like didn't happen all last year either. I don't think it did.
I'm not so sure we'll be tooting anybody's horn, but they would have won.
Watch Eli go out and throw for like 350 and 4 touchdowns. Just watch some like absurd, amazing game from him on Monday night. That's the way it happens.
He's got to have at least one more really good game. I mean, he's got it in him. I know he's going to do it at some point. But
it's the right opponents to at least have a chance to do it against. So
yeah.
Then you come back the next week and you get to play Tampa Bay. So that's another bad defense.
Oh, that's a good matchup too. So you had a whole segment you wanted to do on the betting. Do you have any other final thoughts before we can move into that to round out the show?
No, I don't know. But do you have anything, Bud?
Nope.
All right. Well, I jokingly said last night when we were talking or we were texting back and forth that Kansas City's a 16.5-point favorite against Arizona. How do you not lay those points? That's incredible.
Yeah, you kind of have to because the Cardinals stink. I mean, they're tanking, and barring an injury, I don't see how the Kansas City Chiefs don't cover. So.
No, I mean that's to talk about a lock. We're getting in the territory of a bunch of years ago when the Patriots were really good. I think it was their undefeated season, and they were laying 20 points against Buffalo. Teams like that. You're getting to that category where how many points is enough? I don't know.
I'm always tempted to take anything over 2 touchdowns because the odds of a team winning by more than that are low, but not in this case. Not in this case.
I think it was 6.5 against Cleveland, and they were never had to sweat that one out either.
No,
it's incredible. As bad as their defense is, their offense is 5 times better. So much like that game we saw against the Rams and the Saints, you have to outscore them. I mean, obviously, but you know what I mean. Like you have to keep pace with them, and no one can.
What's the Browns line this week? Because they've been covering almost every week, even though they're not good. But
so the Browns are playing the Falcons. Browns are +4. That's it. That's low.
I like them. I like them then +4 because they don't lose. They've only lost big once. But
is this their first game without Hugh Jackson, or did they play last week? I honestly don't remember.
No, they played last week.
Okay. Well, they played Kansas City, so you really couldn't take too much. You couldn't take too much from that game as it was.
They put up 21 or something, right? 21, 28, something like that.
Yeah, no, they did put up points, but again, Kansas City has a terrible defense, and the way you beat Kansas City is the Patriots should. You got to run on them, run right up the middle with as they did with Sonny Michel. But teams just don't catch on to that. And I guess there aren't a lot of running backs in the league who can take advantage of that, except the Gurleys, maybe the Kamaras, the Hunts.
And you
Hunt's out of Kansas City, so
you got to keep their offense off the field. I mean, if you move the ball down the field too quickly, even running the ball, it's not helping your case. So
let me tell you how happy I was watching that Dallas game last night. That must have been the slowest, most boring football game I've ever seen, but the outcome was great because anytime Dallas loses is a good day.
It didn't start off well for Tennessee. I mean, the first 3 possessions were 3 turnovers.
Yeah.
Well,
and they still won by 2 touchdowns.
That's been Tennessee's season. They lost a couple of close games, won a couple of close games, and then they obviously won bigger this week. But they're not very good. I don't know, but that means the Dallas Cowboys stink.
Well, you mentioned it before that Dallas fired their offensive line coach. That is the most obscure position to fire midseason. It's not the offensive line's fault that they're losing these games. It's the fact that Dak's not that good of a quarterback, and they have 0 receivers. Yeah, Amari Cooper got his touchdown. Big deal.
Dak might be halfway decent, but if he has no one to throw to, a la the Jets, it's kind of hard to do much on offense. I mean, what are you going to do? Yeah.
Well, so look at Fitzpatrick. He throws another 4 touchdowns. Jameis Winston is not playing another snap for. I'm calling it right now. He's done in Tampa Bay. Fitzpatrick may not be the long term, but it's not going to be Winston.
No, I completely agree. I don't know. Fitzpatrick's like
they got down big early in that game too, and they were able to start moving the ball a little bit, but it was too little, too late.
Yeah, they were down 3 touchdowns, I think, at one point, and came back to within 1 score.
So, if Tampa Bay is smart, they will not bring Ryan Fitzpatrick back next season because he always does really well in year 1 with a team.
True.
So then he's comfortable and he's getting his money. He needs to prove himself. He always has to prove himself, and he does well.
You saw it in Texas. You saw it in Buffalo. We saw it in New York. You're right. Yep. Don't sign him to that extra year extension because it's dead money.
Screw it.
Unbelievable. There was a lot of wild game, a lot of scoring this week. Julio finally gets his touchdown after 9 weeks of football. He finally gets his first touchdown of the year.
Well, so I have another thought because I liked the Ravens preseason, and they don't look very good again. They look like another 9-7 team. I mean, this is the end of Joe Flacco, right? Like,
yes,
he's not taking them very far.
No,
it might be the end of John Harbaugh too.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Lamar Jackson is literally just buying his time because every week he's getting more plays, whether it's behind center or they put him out, out in the slot or out wide. He's getting a lot of plays. I said it last week. I wish they didn't trade up to get him because I wanted the Giants to draft him, and I'm convinced they would have if the Ravens didn't trade up in the draft to get him.
So
he looks better than all 4 quarterbacks that came out in the first round.
Pull your roll. He's barely playing. Anyways,
am I wrong?
I haven't really seen much of his tape, but I don't think he's got a small sample size, so it's easy to jump to that conclusion. But so my thought is
a little more dynamic.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he's a running quarterback, but
yeah.
So does Flacco retire, or does he get another job? Because there's going to be a lot of teams that need a quarterback.
That's going to be the same question about Eli. Does he go somewhere else?
No, Flacco's younger. I mean, he'll get another look someplace. I mean, let's think about some of the bad teams that need quarterbacks. I mean, he'll get another job.
Now, how attractive is Jameis Winston?
Well,
I wouldn't touch him with a 6-foot pole.
Bud, what was that stat you read me last week about his turnovers?
42 professional games, 48 interceptions, and 29 fumbles in 42 professional games.
That's Winston?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, man, he's a total bust. Oh, man.
Yep. He has 73 turnovers in 42 games.
That is unbelievable that he's been playing that much.
And the funny thing is, no one has Bud brought that to my attention last week. I've never heard, you figure people would be talking about that. I haven't heard a thing about it until you told me that.
It's because it turns over so quickly to the next set of rookies. Like last year, it was all about Wentz is doing amazing things and what's his
Watson.
Face? Nobody's talking about Watson this year either, and he's quietly leading his team well enough. Nobody's talking about how Wentz is struggling. Like it's kind of just like next. So.
Well,
but Wentz is going to struggle. He's coming off a major knee surgery. I mean, he's going to need 6-7 weeks to probably get back into it. I mean, you can't expect him to just be what he was prior to his knee injury last year.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not surprised he's dealing with this. And obviously they're not going to move Foles back in, I guess, unless necessary. But
no, I would. I mean, they're winning right now, so I mean, they're not going to do anything like that.
No, the Eagles caught lightning in a bottle last year. Let's just call it as we see it here. They're not that same. They're not that same dominant team that won the Super Bowl. They're just not.
No. I mean, you see that a lot though. The Falcons did it when they should have won the Super Bowl and they didn't. The Giants did it a couple of years. Green Bay did it with Aaron Rodgers that one season. They won. Pittsburgh too. The only team that's actually sustained itself is the Patriots. So
that's what I said that last week. It's incredible. They're just. It's unbelievable how consistent they are. And every other team, we said it last week, they do great one year, they come so close, and next year they fall off a cliff. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. I'm still waiting for the Jets to do that, though. I'm waiting for them to reach that peak.
And then we had it a couple years ago.
I mean Super Bowl peak. I'm waiting for that.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. All right, dude.
Well, it'll happen. I just don't know how old we'll be. So, any other final thoughts for today?
Well, I did say I did enjoy watching. The bye week was fun. I didn't have to worry about it. I didn't have to sweat anything out. I sat there and watched Red Zone all day. It was a very enjoyable day. Now I get to be going back to being miserable. But again, I do think they win. I do think the Giants win the game. San Francisco is they've had a plethora of injuries. They're not a good team. But the team we saw on Thursday is not the team you're going to see going forward. It was just who they were playing.
Yeah, my thoughts are all about which coaches are going to lose their jobs here over the next week or two. There's a couple of them. I mean, I know John Gruden's going to get his time, but you mentioned Harbaugh. There's 5 or 6 guys that are serious trouble. So that's what I'm watching for this week.
What do they call it? Pink Slip Monday or Black Monday?
Yeah, it's Black Monday they call it. I mean, I don't envision the Jets doing well, and I also don't envision the Giants doing well. So probably another good week.
Oh, double L's. All right. Well,
I'm always the optimist, guys. I'm always the optimist.
All right. Well, before we get cut off, I'm going to say goodbye and end our show here for tonight. We'll hopefully get 2 W's. I can't do W instead of the 2 L's, but we'll see what happens.
I hope so. So
right.
I want to finally have a positive week next week for both of us. We can actually enjoy talking about football. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fingers crossed. Right.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right.
We'll talk to you.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Thanks for watching BuzzChomp.
Subscribe and share.
Subscribe and share.
Subscribe and share.
Share.
Woo.